now. Hey, everybody. We're on. Hello. We are both very sick. How you doing?
Seems like this is happening a lot to me lately.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, wow. I just went total fever head. Sorry.
Probably not a long one today.
Yeah, probably gonna be a short one, I imagine. But it is nonetheless an important one because we are gearing up towards our very first playtest for Vault Peddlers, which Corey, we didn't talk about this, but I'm just gonna put it out there. You want to give this one more week so that we can do one last prep session where we're actually running at full steam?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good to me. So yeah, we will be starting the full actual first run through of Vault Peddlers. That'll be in 2 weeks from now. I also want to offer apologies to our audience, and by that I mean Elst Dragoon. I was told that when I left for the week on vacation that Corey was going to do an art stream, and I left for 1 week. 1 week.
Ended up crying instead. So.
Yeah, cool. I've been doing that lately, so we're just trading it off. No,
No, it's a rough week. I don't know.
No, it's fine. I'm giving you shit. I'm sorry.
I know you are.
Okay.
I was coming at you aggro with sadness.
Okay, yeah. we're not picking each other up at all. This is great. This is great entertainment material.
Okay.
All right.
I've also been playing just like a metric dick load of Elden Ring.
How is it?
It's so good. It's the best.
How does it stack up with like the other Souls games?
I like it better.
Yeah.
You still get like elements of that tight dungeon design. But I was never like particularly good at the other Souls games. But this one feels like there's a lot more. You have more tools at your disposal, so like that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just very fun. It's super big and like. Although I am pissed off right now. I'm at like I found a boss that he turns invisible and then he summons people, and so he'd be fine if I had any sort of melee weapons, but I'm a magic user, and so I can't target him when he's invisible.
My one weakness. Pain. Oh, getting stabbed in the back. My one weakness.
I mean, like I do a lot of rolling in that game and a lot of dodging because I have no armor because I'm a child.
Can somebody explain to me why spellcasters are for some reason always without armor? Why is that the trope? I do not understand why a wizard would not just like go to the gym for a month and just get strong enough to wear a suit of armor. Like
I'll tell you why, because I'm living that life right now.
Okay.
I'm too busy cranking the magic books, dog. Like if I went to the gym, yeah, sure, I'd be able to wear armor, and that'd be great. But I'd be casting spells at half my capacity, baby. I can fucking jam them down with the best of them now. I'm the king shit, and I won't die if people just don't hit me. So just tuck and roll, baby. No armor.
You're absolutely right. You won't die unless anyone hits you. That is entirely true. No, man, I just want to see one jacked wizard in like a full suit of armor who's like, yeah, I did this. Fuck you.
You could do that in Elden Ring, though, for real, just for the record. And I'm not going to just talk about the amazing game by Miyazaki, but yeah, you can for sure.
We honestly might. I'm holding little to no expectations for this stream.
I've been building some Warhammer too.
Oh, hell yeah. It's been a minute since you've been doing minis, right?
Yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
got an itch. I got an itch, and then I bought a box.
Got a itch.
Did I need a box? No.
It's
I
not
already
about what
have.
you. It's not about what you need,
It's about how consumers. It makes me feel good for just a second.
right? This is about a brief moment of solace before going back to the existential terror that is our waking lives.
Fun conversation.
You guys come to Terramundi Stream for one thing and one thing only. It's that feel good atmosphere that we bring.
All right, so what did we talk about? Hey, actually, here's a question I have for you.
Yeah.
Did we resolve NPC stat blocks? I feel like we came
Fuck
to
no.
some no. I thought we had come to a marginal solution for the time being.
I think what we were trying to do was
Because that actually is something we should probably solve right now.
well, no, that is some. I mean, it's been something that we needed to solve. Our plan moving forward was to have NPC stat blocks be basically relegated to areas, like a dungeon. A dungeon would have a stat block, and then that just basically determines whatever you roll for anything you find in that dungeon. We never resolved it because we were having trouble nailing down we both really liked the convenience aspect of it, but we were both concerned about encounters in the dungeon would not feel unique. They wouldn't feel
That's absolutely fucking true.
direct enough.
So there's a way we could tier dungeons. I mean, this is probably what we were talking about though, but tiering stat blocks on a progression scale for a dungeon, but keeping them relatively similar, so you don't have to not similar. Man, I don't know. This is the thing. Okay, so cards on the table. I'm running Rogue Trader now, and this is a game with feats and I'm so used to running Cyberpunk, which is for all its glory, it is a game that just operates on gear, right? And so I can gear just does whatever. But feats, I gotta know oh, this guy's got the brawler feat. What does the brawler feat do? Yada yada yada.
Right.
That's a lot.
Well, so maybe I understand what you're saying, but I don't know. Isn't equipment basically just a feat? This character has the plasma saw. What does the plasma saw do? It's the same basic thing, right?
That's true. I guess it's just that I guess the principles are just in a VTT different, because I can put in the stats of a weapon.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Feed I have to read.
For sure. Well, and I mean that is definitely an option. I don't hate the idea of so maybe the way we break it down is like this, right? I like the idea of a progression system. And I like the idea of maybe doing something where you have that progression system based on low-level mooks in this dungeon are a D6, and then mini bosses or whatever they are a D10, and then the actual boss is crazy strong. He's a D12 or something like that. Or, and this is another option, I really like the idea of this is a level 1 dungeon, so it's all D4. Maybe doing something where mooks and minions are 1d4, mini bosses are 2d4, and big bosses are 3d4.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing, stacking's always going to be more powerful than going for 1d12.
For sure.
Yeah, because you're always going to be guaranteed a 3, right?
And I do think you also have a lot more versatility that way, because if you have it that way, then you suddenly have a corresponding die for the different star levels. If we have 5 stars, for example, then that's like minions are 1d12, mini bosses are 2d12, and big bosses are 3d12.
And that applies for social combat too.
Correct.
And then that could also apply for exploration. You could apply that to traps as well, right?
Yeah.
Like,
okay. And what that does do, I mean, fuck, you're rolling. If you're at a boss on a 5-star thing, 3d12, like that very quickly solves the problem that I've been having with NPCs feeling
weak.
Yeah, way too weak. Anybody rolling 3d12 has more than a fair fighting shot.
We still have the what do you call it? The our generation pool. Sorry.
Oh, the thing for like fuck, what is it?
Our dice pool, our resource pool, our caravan resources as a GM. We still have those.
I think it's just a cat's pool.
Oh, that's good. That's a good name.
Pool of cats.
Okay. And actually, like, thinking about it like that, then, I like that idea, and I think we can make feats work, too, because one thing that I guess we're trying to do this stat block is make it, like, a GM-friendly tool, right?
For sure.
Having an area stat block is the idea that you have everything laid out in front of you. I know the motivations of everything in here, because I know the motivation of what the mission is. I know the motivation of yada yada. I have the numbers of everything right here with the dice and the dice progression system, and I can know how to scale everything based on like how dangerous it purports to be, and maybe how dangerous, like maybe it is actually like, you know, a tier higher and they don't know that, and I have secret die, whatever. And then I also have my resource pool, so like very easily make this dangerous, and I have everything laid out in front of me. Maybe a cool way to do feats would be, instead of applying them individually, would be having like a stack of them to apply to your contract, and then you being able to pull from that card system whenever you feel like it. Like, I think this guy should have a feat, I'm going to give him this one. And then you have that stack of feats right there, and that way it's not like you're not building everyone on the, you're kind of RNG generating baddies as you go.
Yeah. But you're making a really streamlined system to do it with, which I think is important.
Okay. So very, very easily with a contract, if we have a contract system based 1 through 10, you pick a number of feats equal to the danger of the contract system. If you want to juice it more, juice it less, you know, minus or add or subtract however many feats you want, and you put that stack of cards on the side of the table. You can apply those as you see fit as you're playing. So how are you seeing? Because there is the one thing that we've run into with the difficulty in generating, I guess we don't generate criticals, do we?
No, we work off a degree of success or failure system. So there's
like as a GM, do we generate criticals as a GM?
My understanding of that was no. Although I will say, for simplicity's sake, I kind of like the idea that we can do criticals. I think that is less to keep track of.
Well, it also puts us in the same problem both that we've had with progression dice before, which is it's going to be easier to generate criticals on D4s than it is on any other die.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe what we can do is maybe find a way to make it so that you roll a critical, but just make it so that a critical means less. Like, I don't know exactly what that would mean, but maybe a critical equals a degree of success.
Maybe
that seems way more reasonable, and it's way less of a like, yeah, this guy has to shit your pants because you told him to. Like,
well, yeah. I mean, like, the only other thing I could think of with criticals is like getting rid of degrees of success and using that D20 system that Elstragoon like touched on, which is like having this random die that you're like
trying
Right.
to either match, or like that would be fun.
Yeah.
You have to make a call on like over or under on the critical die. I don't know. I mean, for right now, let's stick with what we got and
Okay.
degrees of success and all that. See if it works for us. But I do think we should keep that like as an option in the back pocket,
Yeah.
right? Like, because if degrees of success end up getting too fiddly and people don't know what to do with 5 degrees of success, yada yada yada, then we can switch to a more simplistic system.
Okay. Corresponding to is.
The boy just got online. There he is.
Hey,
there he is.
is. What's going on?
We are working on. We're kind of all over the map right now. I think we're doing NPC
no,
stat. Like right now, we're doing NPC stat blocks.
Yeah, right now we're doing NPC stat blocks, and I don't know. We came up with like a pretty good idea here. So, corresponding to its star rating. So, an example of this would be 1 star equals D4.
So we have a 10 star contract rating system though.
Oh, did we upgrade it to a 10 star?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, that does change things a little. I mean, the easiest solution there is to have it where the D4 corresponds to 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's just do that. And
okay.
you just crank up the the feats will be cranked up based on the level. So, and are we still gonna be adding the star rating as like a modifier bonus to whatever they're rolling, or are we just doing away with modifiers for NPCs?
Shit, that's a really good question. I am not sure. Hang on for me 1 minute. Let me try and get this actually on here. Okay.
Me and Taylor are sick.
Yeah, we are very sick. Be kind.
Don't. You missed our big talk about Elden Ring. Sick, nasty boys discuss lore. We explore.
Okay, I see what happened.
This is what I get for not doing the names of things
I was
anymore.
about to say, it's mine now. I hold all the cards.
And the cards are these.
Okay, so star rating, die type used. Okay, so
Potential modifier for like elite characters.
I like that. Okay, yeah, hang on one sec. I'm gonna put this here.
Your boss, your mini boss, your
Elite NPC modifier.
yeah.
These are a lot of terms that we need to make sure we actually define. Like if we're going to use elite.
No, I mean, I think that's pretty easy. Like, I mean, your elite is like your named characters, right? Like, a mook doesn't get the modifier, an elite
Sure.
character does.
Let's see here.
And then here's the thing though: are the feats spent once you use them on someone?
I would say I think they have to be. Otherwise, there's not a lot stopping me from just pumping them into every NPC that you come across. So I think that's maybe another cool thing that we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, look, we can't control how you run your table, but this is how we do it.
Right. Okay. We're just
Something the DM sets to signify the implied difficulty.
Yeah, it's the applied difficulty of the job, basically. It is both like a meta rating of like, hey, this is the harder adventure, and like an in lore rating of like, these are more difficult jobs or better quality jobs with better pay. But like, I think the idea is like on a meta level, it's like, hey, this is going to be like significantly more difficult. This is you bargaining your resources against it, and like, it might end up being more difficult, Which is why you do your investigation properly.
Okay.
How are you, Elster? You're making colors?
I'm trying to make it look nice.
Can you move it a little bit?
I
Right
most
now.
certainly can. Hang on for me just a minute.
You love the green.
I'm trying to go with a theme. I figure we're probably going to end up changing it at some point.
I'm pulling all that green in.
Okay, I'm going to go here.
There is nothing like after working with Excel and Microsoft Word so much the past year of looking at an RPG book and being like, that's Excel.
Okay. So, contracts, enemy rolls. So, okay, enemies on a given contract roll the die type corresponding to its star rating. See table right. For elite NPCs,
And this is so this is where your like progression would come in, right? This is where you would you create like how many tiers is your adventure,
right.
and then you'll have like encounters of these different tiers. So you'll have 1d4 adverse. I'm just going to start saying adversary because I don't want to like just throw around that it's only combat. So 1d4 adversary, 2d4 adversary, 3d4 adversary.
Okay, hang on for me one sec. So I'm just going to change that to adversary.
This is Google Docs, yeah.
Yes, it is Google Docs, correct.
So I like this because you have this inner level with the tiers, Taylor, that you can make a 1 or 2 contract rating that is outwardly a 1 or 2 more dangerous by having more tiers put in, and that's something that's behind the screen that the players might not know about.
For sure.
So like we have this outward rating system, it's like a 1 or 2, but like fucking the gang off the glee. I got the Gaelic part.
Yeah. Okay, so adversary rolls, so that's like one of the biggest parts of the NPC stat block, right? Here's a question. When it comes to armor, when it comes to health, when it comes to movement, like the 3 big things, how are you thinking we calculate that? Because that's been the thing that's dogging me.
Okay. We do it like this. And just very quickly, you take whatever tier the adversary's on.
Okay.
And you yeah. So you roll 1 or 2 d4, 3 or 4 d6. Maybe that's too high. 9 or 10 d12 is a lot of. There's a lot of multiplication I was going to throw out. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
It started getting exponential on me.
That's the thing. When we're working with this huge array of die types, you get a lot of variation.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm not opposed to, like, a 10-star contract being full of really hard people. I mean, that's literally supposed to be, like, end-of-the-game shit. So, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what our progression looks like. That is the other thing, yeah.
Are you going to do this in a way where you can publish adventure content and then have a way for the DM to just increase the star rating to match the player's level via some algorithm or process?
So this is what we're actually getting into.
Yeah.
We're coming, like, we know, like, generally what the beginning of our game looks like, but not about what the progression looks like.
Yeah.
which is the issue because like as we're seeing it right now, like we're capping off at like contract star rating 10. We don't even know what that fucking looks like right now because we don't know what our character progressions look like. I mean, ideally, the idea is that we can release like a splat book a year and stay relevant.
Right.
And release a public or a published adventure or whatever. So that is the goal. But right now we don't have the algorithm or process.
No, we definitely don't. Right now we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants and trying to take what we've learned in the last year, which is just make something and test it and see what happens. But yeah, no, to answer that question, no, we don't have a formal process right now. It's very much something we're feeling out.
So, Taylor, for those numbers, I think you can, you take the die type of whatever contract you're going on for tier 1, and then you roll that die type. And oh wait, no, hold on. Fuck, different tiers. That's what's messing me up. I was gonna say you roll that die type times it by 2, times it by 1, and then cut it in half. And that way you have 1 strong stat, 1 middling stat, 1 weak stat. That being said, I mean, I don't know if it should be the case for everyone. So it like one thing that I definitely like reaching back into character like playing games right now and running games. One thing that I appreciate is whenever but I learned a lot in the past couple weeks about how I'm running things in Cyberpunk. Whenever like people do critical damage on an enemy, unless it's like a big enemy, I'll generally like just have them murder them now because I'm like, fuck it. Like, I don't want to, yeah.
Well, like, I don't know. I run into this a little bit with L5R because there's like etiquette involved in like combat in that game. It's very different from Cyberpunk in that way. But like, I don't know. Like, let's say you roll like I think it's like an 8 on like the critical strike table in L5R. You've basically like cut somebody's arm off, right?
Yeah.
If you do that in Cyberpunk, that person is just dead, right? They're not gonna live. There's no.
Well, either they're dead or they're fucking out.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, Cyberpunk, everyone is willing to, like, fucking you roll on some security guards, they're gonna be like, I'm paid $12 an hour. Yeah. I'm not, like, take whatever you want.
So here's my only thing. I actually don't mind, even at the higher levels, the idea of doing roll the die type times 2 times 1 and then half it. I think that even on like the D12, that's not going to be as horrendous as we might think it is, because the chances of actually rolling a 12 are pretty fucking slim.
Hold on. I did it.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You do this. You do that for each tier. The tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, and then you add no modifier to the tier 1 guys. You add half modifier to the tier 2 guys, and you add full modifier to the tier 3 guys. So if you roll a D4 on a tier, you roll that D4, times it by 2, you have an 8 on that guy, and then 4, and then 1.
So here's my question, and this is what I was getting to. You have that for which stat? Are we making universal stats along the board, or is it just GM discretion okay, right now I'm rolling for armor, right now I'm rolling for health, whatever.
Oh, so my idea was that like you would roll once and then you would times it by 2, times it, just take the full roll and then cut it in half, and then add the modifier.
But which one would you apply it to?
Oh yeah, you would apply it. That would have to be fiat. Like if this is going to be, if this is going to be a more armored place, a quicker place, or
So whatever they roll, apply.
I thought I was feeling better.
No, I'm not.
So we are realizing that like one thing that we are trying to do with this NPC stat block is make an area stat block. And the idea is like we're trying to make GM friendly tools because we're both GMs.
Yeah, we've made a bunch of stuff for players because I think by definition when you're starting out that kind of has to be your emphasis, but we both kind of realized after a year of doing this that there's basically nothing made for GMs to make this game more manageable.
Yeah. So, like what we are doing right here is kind of making like a quick way to generate content. Like it's kind of like an RNG generator for a dungeon as you like go through. But it's not necessarily dungeons. It can be conversational and stuff. Obviously, still got to put the legwork in, but that's the idea.
Okay. GM wishes. So times 2. Roll times 2.
Times 1, times point, and times half.
Roll times 1. And roll times half. Okay, cool.
For tier 1 enemies, you do not add the modifier. For tier 2 enemies, you add half the modifier. For tier 3 enemies, you add the full modifier.
Okay, one sec.
And this is the other thing. If this does make deadly encounters, like, good, right?
That's what we want.
Yeah, I mean, which means we do have to, like, really write some chase mechanics and maybe reframe combat as chases, which is another thing we had talked about. Dude, they totally can be. But, like, the most useful stat blocks to me are simplistic and don't require a lot of, like, book flipping for me, right?
Yeah, in an ideal scenario, we want to try and find some way that we can have all of this stuff on, like, one page of a GM screen. Like, that's the ideal. That's hard. That's hard to do, but...
Well, and like, and I really want to. One thing I really want to nail down is like defining like adventure design in our book. Just because like anytime a book does that for me, I always use it, even if I don't end up like falling in love with the way they do it and doing it my own way. Right. I always at least give it a shot. So I would like to like have like, hey, this is what this make your life easy. Take these, pull your feats. Put them on your page, and then go from there. That to me that is the hardest one.
So you said for tier 1 enemies apply the full modifier. For tier 2, just what is it?
Half modifier.
Okay.
So this is something we do have to work out with our NPC stats. But the idea is to have it be across the board the same thing, having like a dex stat, like a resilience stat, and like a physical stat, like a conversational stat, and a like mental. This is where 3 stats gets messy. Is what I've found.
Well, we have 3 for the record. We have 3 stats here. Right?
Yeah, we do, but we've both recognized that 3 stats is a little messy, like, because they bleed into each other, and, like, they aren't as clearly defined. But the idea is to have
them be the same stat blocks across the board, because we like also have like a lot of conversational feats. So I think that's where your bread and butter is, anyways. So yeah.
Okay.
Plus, who knows? Johnny gets the wrong idea and he puts a rust belter to the promissary's head. Who knows where we end up?
Let's see here. Okay. So we've got the roll system down. We have a basic idea of generating health, armor, and movement, and we have NPC modifiers. I think the only thing we need is we need to have something for either equipment or feats. I know you said you wanted to have a pool of that.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Okay, so I was going to say you pull equipment in, and that is where it threw me for a loop real quick. Maybe we just like separate them. Right?
Okay.
You have 4 feats. You have a certain amount of feats based on the contract. What do you call it? The contract tier rate, not tier, star rating.
Yeah.
So for a level 1 contract, you have 1 feat. You apply it to the big bad at the end. That's pretty standard adventure design, right? You're facing a bunch of goblins beforehand. Maybe you see a wolf, and then you fight the big boss. He has something cool he can do. So as you get up, you get more feats that you can spread around. The idea is you have put them on index cards. You have 10 feats. And you can distribute them on the fly as you play. I can attack and be like, oh, you know what? I want him to go to this. Once you spend the feat, it's out of your resource management pool.
Okay, one sec here. So when creating a contract, arbiter, or no, archivist.
Yeah.
Okay, collects or creates a number of feats, and you said it's a number of feats equal to the star rating?
Yeah.
Okay. At a time, they can apply these feats to characters in play.
I think for gear, I'm gonna go the other way with it and pull the cyberpunk thing. You should do what makes sense.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm not even sure gear actually does matter in the sense of NPCs because it won't affect what you're rolling, right?
Well, it will affect their flat damage.
Oh, it would affect their damage. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So these feats cannot be applied again once used. And then finally, equipment. Archivists should apply equipment to adversaries from the equipment section of the books, as they think is relevant to calculate damage or other effects. Okay.
And then, fun tip, if you want to make it a more challenging adventure than the star rating, just add more feats to it.
Yeah.
Like, don't feel beholden to the way that we're telling you to write an adventure. This is a tool set for you to use.
Contract. Feel free to add feats. Okay, cool. All right. So I think that we've got it.
Kind of done it. Yeah.
I think that's it. So let's actually sample this really quick.
I hate you.
Yeah, fuck you. We're gonna do it. This is the mistake. This is the mistake we make every single time. Okay. So sample NPCs. I'm just gonna make that like a heading 3. Okay. All right. So first thing,
I need a location from the audience.
I need a location. I need your favorite food. I need a job. Okay, so let's just say it's a star rating 4, right? So
Okay.
it's a D6.
D6 adventure.
I'm gonna go ahead and just roll here. Okay, so no matter what, I know that everybody in this place is going to roll either 1d6, or they're going to roll 2d6s, or they're going to roll 3d6, depending on whether they're a minion, a mini boss, or like a big bad. I'm correct on that? Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
the idea I had.
So hang on one second here. I actually need to make that clear because I don't think I do.
And then what we're doing, the health, armor, and movement, that's just generating stats for them. What they actually roll is, yeah, that tracks.
Okay.
I'm a maniac. It's Hawaii. We're doing it in Hawaii. Oh, Volcano's a good one. Actually, this is the lore I wanted to talk about anyways, so.
We're going to Vigil then?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the head of Vigil, because we talked about this, like, autocratic, like, ruler that, like...
Yeah.
Like it is, Vigil is, like, a place where, like, necessity of danger has bred this, like, almost intolerable if everyone wasn't so sternly and stoutly working together for it to survive.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a sad king.
Die time times 3. Tier 2.
Our sad king of Hawaii. Welcome, Thomas Bahama.
Tier 3. Minion. Die time.
Min and big boys.
Okay, cool. All right, so we've made this person.
Oh,
Let's
wait.
go.
I was doing it opposite in my head. I guess it doesn't matter. But I was doing.
Wait, you want to have minions roll 3 times as many dice as bosses?
No, I just had the progression. I had tier 3 being the highest tier for some reason.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It
gotcha.
doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of
Yeah, no, it's just what you were thinking.
Antics.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, let's go ahead and let's just try this out. We'll do it a couple of times. So if this is a boss, then we're rolling 3d6.
Well, let's generate his health, armor, and movement.
Oh, yeah, no. So it's just a d6. Okay. Ooh, okay. So I rolled a 6, which is tight.
So he has 12 in his highest stat, 6 in his lowest, and 6 in his middling, and 3 in his lowest.
Okay. And so for just argument's sake, he's got a 12 armor. He's got 6 movement and 1 health. This dude is like in he's in like a cryo, or 3 health.
3 health. Yeah.
3 health. This dude is in like a cryo suit. Like he's like Darth Vader. Like if you crack his armor, he's incredibly vulnerable. Okay, and so modifiers. So when he rolls, he's going to roll 3d6 plus. So he's just rolling 4d6 then, right? Because he always
what do you
rolls a
mean?
d6.
Oh, you mean because the modifier?
Yeah.
No, because the modifier isn't 4d6. It's not it's not a probability, right? Modifier is just a flat modifier.
Oh, so it's just 6?
Well, I thought we were doing a tier 4 adventure.
We are. That's a D6.
Yeah, but the modifier is the adventure rating.
Oh, Oh, okay. Sorry. Hang
Yeah.
on 1 second.
So it would be he'd be rolling 3d6 plus 4.
Okay.
Which is a big roll.
It is. It's still huge, but one
Yeah.
sec. Okay, so every time an adversary rolls, they get a flat modifier equal to the star rating of the contract added to their roll. Okay.
Every time, and according to their tier, right? Like, because a tier 1 enemy or a tier 3 enemy isn't going to get that modifier. A tier 2 enemy is going to get half that modifier, and then a tier 1 enemy is going to get the whole modifier applied to it. Because they are that's how they get more difficult.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So, sorry, because now I'm confused. Now I'm confused just because of the whole tier confusion. So you're saying the boss gets the full modifier, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool.
This cat's name is Thomas Bahama.
Let's see how that looks. So roll 3d6.
What are you doing there?
Do it for me, Google.
From me, Google.
Okay, so our boy just rolled a 20.
Forget.
Let's try it again. Okay, he rolled a 15. Rolled a 15 again.
15 plus the 4, yeah.
No, he rolled an 11 plus the 4. 15 is total. This is a 17.
So the 3.5 is the average roll on a d6.
Okay.
So he is always going to roll like. So he should always be rolling like, like 14.
Something.
That should be his median roll.
Something to that effect. So
Yeah.
what that means then is this dude at level 4 is incredibly deadly. Like,
Yes.
very. Is that I don't think that's inherently bad. That being said, he's not even at like the upper tier of what this system is going to do. Like, let's take...
He is, but bear in mind, our players are going to have armor, which is going to juice their natural armor rating, and they're going to have weapons that are going to juice it. More feat variability, and maybe we should just cut down on the. Maybe we need to cut down on the GM pool, if that's the case.
I honestly think with this system, I don't think you need it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary at all. Which is honestly tight because that's one less thing to keep keep track of.
Yeah.
3d6 curves out hard. Yeah. No shit. Okay, cool. Well, then I think that's at least here's the thing. And
it's working. We can work with it.
Exactly. It works. We can test it, and if we get through this series of play testing and it's not working, then we take this back to the drawing board. Oh my god.
That was a sneeze of a father.
Oh, I was trying to get it out before I did it, but
My
Okay.
God.
my god.
I did a reverse. My God. my favorite thing about glasses, by the way.
Fair. Okay, and then you would have feats you can apply. I don't think we need to test that. That is pretty self-explanatory. And then equipment, same deal.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. I think that works for now. I am sure we'll come across issues with it, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, do you want to just call NPCs adversaries, or do you want
Yes.
to just stick to...
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess let's not call them, because I guess that gets confusing in that, like, well, they're adversarial die. Like, even if someone's friendly, like, it is, like, inherently rolling. Even if you're rolling for someone, it's rolling against events, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah, let's just call them adversaries. Fuck it.
Okay, so adversary stat block creation. I'm just going to make that. Heading 2. Okay, cool. So we've got that down. Let's take a fun little detour into Lore Town.
Thank you. Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, well, you wanted to come here, so I don't know what to tell you.
Then I'm full of self-loathing.
I mean, yes.
Leave me and my ketchup tea alone.
Okay, so I'm just going to put major cities, and you wanted to talk specifically about Vigil, correct?
Talked about it much.
Say what?
We haven't talked about it much. It's just like it's gonna be there. We should talk about it.
Yeah, totally.
And like, it is probably the city most adverse to your eyes. Like, well, I mean, they're all averse to like our personal morals. Like, I don't believe in child kidnapping or.
I like the idea that they're very morally upright. They're very judgy.
I will say this much about Orad. I do agree with churches that hunt giant metal snakes.
Yes.
That's radical.
Because that's tight as hell. Let's see here. I guess the only ones who need stamina.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right.
Like Elzerian, like, and even like in situations where you're rolling like to help an NPC, you're rolling in an adversarial situation. So I was like, fuck it.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, even if you don't want to go about it that way, I mean, once you understand the system, it's super easy, because if I have an NPC that's not an adversary and I know they're not super powerful, I know that I just need to roll a d6 and add 4 to it, and there's my fucking roll, right?
If I know they are more powerful.
Yeah, so like I don't.
That's actually true, Taylor. It scales on the fly really easily.
That's the thing, is like it looks complicated when you have it written down, but I think it translates once you understand it fluidly enough that like, yeah, I don't even think a lot of the times you even would need a stat block, for like non-contract NPCs and
Jobs,
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, what do we know about Vigil?
Well, we know that there is a volcano full of plasma, which I guess all volcanoes technically. Is there like a living child in the volcano, like a spirit of some kind, or did I dream that?
Okay, I was going to say, you're going to need to finish that question for me, because you just brought that up very nonchalant. Okay,
so then let me explain my dream. I had in my head that they were like harboring either a secret or like it was like a reflection of themselves, but either way, like some sort of nebular force had come into being inside of this volcano that they're mining, and it was like a screaming face of a child, and they are quelling it by like mining it and keeping it safe. A secret? Is that not something we talked about?
Dog, what the fuck? What the fuck, Corey? Here's the thing. We might have talked about this. I legitimately don't remember that. Because what the fuck?
It's tight though, right?
It's pretty metal. It's pretty sick. But what the fuck? Here's a question. Because I asked you this on our private chat. Do you have the map we made like a year ago?
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry.
Did you actually find it?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I haven't.
Okay, cool. Actually, tell you what. Do you want to share it on the Discord, and I can pull it up on the stream? Because I don't know if people on this stream have ever actually seen the world map we made for Eba.
Just gotta find out where I saved
Let's
it.
see here.
Search under draft.
Right. Bear with me here, folks. We are everything is about to get very weird on this stream.
I'm just gonna find where I saved this.
Okay, right? It seems like something I would remember. That seems like something that would stick out.
What are you guys talking about?
You remember that? You remember that weird child we made that's in constant pain and agony because he's the unwilling symbol
Godhead.
of a city.
He's the Godhead. He's the secret Godhead that they have to keep the Nocturne at bay for, which is why they have the Iron Courts of Vigil.
Right.
And that's dealings with the secret Sky Pirates. I don't get what everyone's not getting.
Who's really enjoying this? Just a little something for everyone.
I thought that's what you're laughing at. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. No, I'm just ready for you to share the screen.
Well, and
I'm fucking
I
around.
don't remember. We did this a long time ago. I don't remember where I saved it.
Okay, yeah. So fuck, we might have to
Sorry.
make a whole new world map.
No, I mean it's on my computer. I can find it. It's just gonna take me a minute.
Yeah.
And I got ill and didn't look for it. I apologize.
Oh.
Either way, it is tucked in the corner. It is eastern, and it is surrounded by mountains. Past those mountains is the sea.
Yeah.
That is what's going on. The idea is that there are rumors that Vigil does dealings with the Nocturne, and that their mountains that they anchor on, wherever they anchor, are close to Vigil. So there is some sort of relationship going on there, which rubs everyone the wrong way because the Nocturne are terrible pillagers who come through like demons and ruin whole.
Right. There's clearly some proof that it's actually a real thing and that they are actually doing all of these awful things, but it's not confirmed enough.
They're basically the Drow, right? Dungeons and Dragons analogy. They do raids on villages, take people, and you get dragooned onto a ship. Sometimes you leave, sometimes they let you go. You don't necessarily remember your time there with the iron masks. And I actually kind of like that carry through of the idea of iron and vigil, and then having these nefarious characters, these bad actors of the Nocturne also having that iron relationship.
Yeah.
So I mean thematically I like that. For me, Vigil is built very high up. It is a place where everyone does the work, whatever the work may be. It is a place where the king is, or the figurehead, the emperor, whatever you want to call them, is the figurehead, but it is a position that they ultimately loathe and do it because it must be done kind of stuff.
Right.
Same thing with the firefighters, right? These plasma miners, they go in and it's this dangerous job, but it keeps Vigil running. And so they get service, civil service. They're servants, and it is a proud thing that everyone has to do. So when you are a firefighter of Vigil, you are
You know.
Tusken Raiders.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's Tusken Raiders with lightning ships. Like it's actually the idea I had was that like sand bad guy from Hell Guy. That's what I almost called Hellboy. Hell Guy.
Yeah, you know Hell Guy. Hey guys, I'm like really old. Can we stop calling me Hellboy? Okay, but what do you want to go by? I got just the thing.
Hell Guy.
Hell Guy. Hey, that doesn't sound as cool as you think it does. Nah.
It's awesome. Hacking right, guy. Yeah. So that I mean, like that. I would like to like first off, I would like to know what the Emperor's. I like the idea that he is like long lived.
Sure. What this takes me, because I know you've been doing a lot of work on like character stuff. What's the longest living race or species that we have?
Ooh, I think the Builders are.
Builders? Those are the aliens, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the progeny of like some of the first Xenos that came into the area, and then yeah.
So is this guy a builder that's just been around a long time, or is he somebody who is like, I don't know, otherwise affected by?
Maybe it's like they don't even know what he is anymore.
Makes it so
Like,
difficult every time.
Like he's been upgraded with technology and relics so many times to keep him running, to keep the city running. It's not even like there's no like memory of what that physical form was.
So you're saying he's more machine than man?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, we're getting. I haven't played Warhammer, but I feel like this is in Warhammer territory, where like we're worshiping like an ageless robot god king.
Listen, the ageless robot god, he's not ageless. He sits dead on a throne. He's a skeleton. He's just bones.
That's dumb. That's dumb. You guys are dumb. He's not even alive. He can't even eat a Pop-Tart. Fuck that guy.
No, he can't. He definitely can't eat a Pop-Tart. He's like, he's kept alive by the Golden Throne, which makes it so he can't truly die, which like stops him from becoming a god.
Is he kept alive?
Yes, he's on this thing called the Golden Throne.
Yeah.
That it like projects his psychic power. He was like making this webway project so that they didn't have to use the Immaterium to travel through space, and it got all fucked up when one of his sons, Magnus the Red, like was like, "Hey, your kids are being dipshits," and then he was like, "Magnus, you suck. No one gets to use magic powers anymore. And now I have to be on this throne, and we have to sacrifice 1,000 psychers a day to it."
That's weird. That's weird, dog. I don't want to do that. Elstragoon, to answer your question, yes, there are humans. No, this is not Earth.
I'm actually seeing this guy more as like like Sauron if he wasn't like just doing it for evil. Sauron who is trying to keep shit together.
To be fair, I don't even know what's under Sauron's suit of armor.
That's what I'm saying. Like, big mysterious figure might be fun. You know, we do have something.
I thought you were doing like a deep dive Tolkien pull or something like that.
Oh no! I mean, I don't think Sauron has anything under the armor anymore.
Oh, does he not?
I think he used to. He used to be like I mean, he's some kind of Maya, right?
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah. I guess he's a dipshit. Not even fucking the big bad.
Oh, I hope he gets better soon.
Well, yeah, I mean, Aragorn's son kills him later.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey is much deeper in the lore than I am. I read Lord of the Rings when I was in like middle school, and like TBH, low-key kind of hated it. Like, love Tolkien, love Lord of the Rings, love fantasy in general, hate reading Tolkien. I just don't enjoy it. It's just
Really?
it's just not my thing. Like
Yeah, that's fair.
he makes a great world. It's this really rich, deep thing. But like I'm a very nuts and bolts kind of writer, and I've talked with you about this a couple of times. I have the same gripe with George R.R. Martin. If you're describing that there's a feast, I don't need 8 pages describing every dish on the table and like where each of them are from. Like that is my least favorite trope in fantasy. It just feels it's not fun to watch.
I like.
Oh, you're in Hawaii? What the fuck?
When Tolkien describes Tom Bombadil's good food, I get very excited.
No.
And that's a conversion that I have to suffer with.
You dirty, nasty boy.
I'm like, Tom Bombadil's got like fucking honeycombs and yellow and sweet creams, and I'm like, what the fuck is he eating? This is what?
What's your kink? Well, this one's kind of weird.
Very specific.
Try not to judge.
Can you read this one scene for me? and be into it.
I'm also gonna need you to be barefoot. Not like because I'm into feet. It's just for the ambiance.
Well, it's just because there's carpet in here. Don't be a savage.
So yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You know what we can play off of? Maybe he's like one of those like, and maybe this is like alluded to in the text.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those old world cyborgs. Like we had talked about like like cyborgs gaining sentience very early on, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe he's one of us.
So let's answer an important question on Vigil. Is the identity of the king actually known, or is this a secret thing?
So here's the thing. I think outwardly he presents as an identity. Like this is a man who has been like pulled apart and put together and leads us because it is a sacrifice that he must make. Right. He holds all the knowledge of Vigil's records, like yada yada yada. It's not something he wants to do, but he is doing it. But like his identity, I think like who he really was, it's a question of like if you like, you know, it's a ship of Theseus thing, right? Like it's a matter of How many parts can you take away and he's still the thing?
Exactly. So like what he purports to be and what he actually is, I think that's where the disconnect is. So I think he purports to be something, but
what is he? Okay, so here's the question then. What does he purport to be?
Okay.
If you were talking with somebody on the streets of Vigil and you asked them, "Hey, describe your king," what would they say?
They would look long at the ground, then they would look up at the volcano, always in sight. He's strength. That's it.
Okay. That's a wonderful narrative answer.
Yeah.
I'm asking for the sake of our lore.
What's his name?
Like what's his name? What is he? Does he look like a builder? Does he look like a human? Does he look like an Arache?
I don't think he looks like any other races anymore.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like I think he is an amalgamation of a lot of different things, right?
He looks like so here's the thing, because we're going between what he is and what he presents to be. Does he present as a bunch of things?
I think he looks like a bunch of different machine parts put together.
Okay.
I think that all he purports to be is the King of Vigil.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he is the people of Vigil then are basically the planet of the Amazons from Futurama. These are people who are following what they believe to be the will of an almighty femputer, and it's actually just a fembot.
Is it? I think we leave it open to interpretation.
Well,
Right?
we can leave it open to interpretation to a point, but like in terms of what is presented and what is commonly agreed upon, this is a society of people that have chosen to follow this thing. They don't just do that for no reason.
Then let me say this much: the King of Vigil is very hands-on. He does the work that everyone else in Vigil does.
Yeah.
He works in the at like diplomatic things in the tower and all that, but he will like get down and dirty in the fields.
Okay, Elstragoon, thank you. Thank you so fucking much. This is my constant struggle. You wanted to talk about lore. Let's talk about lore.
I don't think he is any of the races, and
Okay.
I don't think he purports to be.
Okay.
I think that he is an amalgamation of machines that is put together. And that is what he is. If you would ask him what he was, which I think is what your question is,
Yeah.
I think it is like one of those things where it's like, I have been alive for so long, I don't know what the flesh was. Like, I maybe was a man, but like, it is like, that is lost to me. What is important to me is the work of Vigil, is keeping these people alive. So it is vague, and I am purposefully not answering the question to answer you both.
Well, correct.
Yeah.
I mean, to some extent, I get that because, I mean, we learned this when we were doing PBTA campaigns, right? You intentionally leave blank areas in the map, and that's fine. My bigger concern is if we're building out lore that we're then going to build off of later.
Yeah.
We as the producers probably need to know what this thing is, but maybe not on stream, right?
Yeah. Well, and here's something we can answer. We can answer like recent history, right? Like,
Sure.
We can answer what the cat's been up to, what he looks like now. Like, and I think like respected amalgamation of I like that.
Never remembers what he once was. Does the work of the people.
Elstragoon's right. You pulled Femputer with the Fembot, but I guess that is Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, actually, that is more accurate. Oh, okay. Elstragoon, you're standing in front of the king and you have to describe them to a blind person. Go.
He is a like a conglomeration of like joints and joists and reeds of pipes that like are on hydraulics. They are like old world rust punk shit that have been like forced and pushed together. There's like arcane motors running in different sections of him to like keep the arm moving. Maybe he's got like an arm behind him, his like bi arm that like throws the cloak, and he's got like he definitely has a cloak for sure. Definitely a big cloak guy. This man
getting big General Grievous vibes from this guy.
Yeah, like gold. Like they call him a king because he's got like part of his head is like this gold wrought crown, but it is like an essential component of him that keeps like the clockwork machine working.
Love it. Hell, thank you. This is what I wanted. This is it.
Yeah. I've seen like a lot of like yellows, a lot of like brasses and yellows and like black and grease, and probably like a sword, right? That would fucking track.
Yeah, that'd be tight.
Big gun. It's got a fucking Glock. This is my Glock.
Are you ready for the most powerful spell?
Like, don't mind him having like some cool fucking gun. That would be dope.
You need to design this guy now.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I'm asking you all of these things. So here's a question, and it's not in particular to Vigil. In terms of where we want to start playtesting, I mean, did you have a location in mind? I think we said I'm gonna GM, which I'm totally fine with. I'm just curious if you have a location you're most interested in.
No, I'm actually more interested to see what you are more interested in, I guess.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like 10 feet is like a badass idea.
Yeah, I see him big, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I definitely, from that description, I picture him very large and very imposing.
but like kind of sweet.
No. Respected, but not sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess no one's really sweet there.
Yeah.
And when I say sweet, I mean like Thanos when Gamora's parents get murdered, and he's like, "Here's a knife."
Yeah. Okay, but kid, do you see how balanced this thing is, though? Look at that.
Sick knife. Sick
It's a
knife,
fucking,
right?
it's a great knife. I know your parents just died, but look at this.
Do you want to hang out?
Oh, fuck. Steampunk Optimus Prime.
Hell yeah.
Hell
let's
yes.
let's give him like a sick gun.
Yeah.
For sure, with like some lore meaning behind it.
All right.
Go.
Okay. So it definitely makes sense that the gun, whatever it is, was probably fabricated using materials local to the area. And what other materials are there but rock, lava, magma, and plasma? So I definitely think that it's some kind of... I definitely think that it's metal and rock that have somehow been fused together. I definitely view it as... I view it, instead of, my initial thing was to go for like a railgun of some kind, but I actually think that fitting with kind of the aesthetic of Vigil, I think that it looks more like a hunter's rifle. Like,
Ooh.
yeah, like relatively thin, like not meant for like huge warfare or anything like that, but meant for like practical work.
He definitely one-hands this son of a bitch.
Oh,
and it's
1,000%. Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000%. But yeah, so that's generally how I view it. As for what it shoots, I'm kind of stuck between it being some kind of like a liquid flamethrower, which is tight.
Yeah,
but
that's dope.
Yeah, but again, I'm kind of attached to the idea that like this is a society that's built around function, and like if it is a hunting rifle, that makes no fucking sense. So I think it maybe it's got some kind of a carbine chamber that like superheats bullets, or superheats metal, or superheats rock even, and
It like explodes magma out when it like hits somebody.
I do kind of like the idea that like there is like a small puddle of magma, I guess. I don't know. Like you tell me, like, do you think that fucks with hunting too much? Like, is that going to ruin the...
No, 'cause I mean, I think like there's another thing we're missing here. Like one of the grim necessities of this place is protection. And before they like made treaties with the like assumed treaties with the Nocturine, they probably were on the doorfront of this like the beginning of these like wars, right? Like so it makes sense that it's a man kill, and probably it makes sense that it kills like these magical creatures better. So the idea that it like shoots magma out as it like, or shoots like liquid plasma out, like superheated plasma out as it pierces, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, no, I'm actually into that idea.
Maybe it was a hunting rifle, right? And he retrofitted it.
Ooh, technomancy. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, it is. Oh.
I do like that.
What?
He crafts the different ammunition, like, in his fucking tower on his, like, pedal steam grinding down these bullets.
Ooh, for, like, a specific purpose. That's
To
tight
do
as
different
hell.
things. Yeah.
Okay.
Who is the War Master of Vigil? The King. Who's the Treasurer of Vigil?
The king. Who's the best hunter in Vigil? The king.
King.
Who's the best miner in Vigil? The king.
The King. He does what must need to be done.
Yeah.
So you all don't like him. The fuck are you talking
What?
about?
No, he's the fucking best. Are you kidding?
Did you not hear what I just said?
Okay, so this brings us to a good question on Vigil. Do the people in Vigil like the king in kind of the Greek arete way, where it's like, I don't have any personal connection with this guy, but he's like an exemplar of like what our society is meant to be? Or do you think that they actually feel a real kinship with the king?
I think they feel a real. So to answer the question, I think they feel a real kinship, even though he might feel separated and that he is an exemplar. When your family gets like brought down in one of these wars, he is there at that. Like he is at that battle. He's at that burial. Yeah. Like he is where the work must be done. He might not interact a ton, and maybe it's like by the nature of like how long lived he is and how like that disconnect that goes on between the ages, but like he knows your line, right?
Right.
And I think that's the other thing. Like I think with like Vigil, like you are sons and daughters, you are children of Vigil. Yeah. And when you like, I don't even know if they like, I think they just like, so like criminals, right? Like you work in the penal legion in the mine, you serve a sentence, whatever. But like, if it is an affront enough, do you think they kill you? Do they excommunicate you? Like, I think you're like I think it's like they push you out. You are gone.
Yeah. So I think that the thing that we have really established with Vigil is that this is not a barbaric place.
No, not at all.
I actually think they don't do capital punishment for the most part, unless it's like a really serious crime.
Yeah.
I think excommunication makes the most sense. I do think excommunication is probably pretty fucking brutal given the landscape that Vigil is in.
Yeah, you don't get your shit.
Yeah, like, there's probably a working knowledge that excommunication more than likely means death, even if it's not explicitly a death sentence. It's just, we're not helping you anymore.
There are stories that the king was once a young upstart who was excommunicated, and he came back in times of dire need. And that's why you never kill the children of Vigil. You send them out.
Huh.
And more importantly, the Iron Courts of Vigil, like you get a trial. Sure. Of course, the judge is the king.
The judge is the king. Naturally. I gotta tell you, I'm sure that they love him. This dude seems like the worst micromanager boss I've ever fucking heard of.
He doesn't even have to like say anything. He's just like watching you do it, and then like turns and walks away, and you're like, I fucked up.
Oh, god damn it. Pack your shit, Mary.
We're doing it again.
From Comic Kit and MTG, they kind of just chill with the people all the time. They help out even though they're huge cat gods and all that.
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely, so military service I think is like, we've actually kind of already talked about it. Like the mining work is tied in with military service, right? Like
yeah,
it
for
is
sure.
The same thing. It is, military service is civil service in Vigil.
Especially, I think at this point in the world's history, I don't see EBA right now as going into a lot of wars.
It is land. It's protection of area of Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, very much.
Anyone who is large enough in order to have a kingdom protects it.
Well, there's only 3, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere else is just these tiny little like hamlets.
Communities.
Like, they might be able to fend off like a roving band of like, you know, robbers or something like that. But other than that, yeah.
There's upstart civilizations, but they often get torn apart.
Let me just load my judge bullet.
Well, and I think if you're not a child of Vigil, yeah, I think that's how that works.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So this is not capital punishment.
So this is a pretty xenophobic place. Then they're not fans of outsiders.
So I think that you are expected to purport yourself, right?
Yeah.
You were expected to comport yourself in a specific way, and I think that's like one. Like they don't like it's not like a place where it's like, oh, look at the lawyer, he's doing it. Like everyone respects the position that everyone has. There's like arbitrators of law that work in the Iron Courts, and that is an important job because they are dealing with the outside and making sure that things are running smoothly. And I think there's acceptable practices in Vigil, much in the same way that there are acceptable practices in Ishtas, right? Like,
sure,
you watch your fucking back. At least in Vigil, they'll come at you straight on.
Okay, so here's another question. How do the people in Vigil actually live? We know that, like, they mine raw materials. We know that they, like, what do they eat? What is there to, like, to have sustenance from in this area?
Yeah. Okay. So, like you said, hunting, I think, tracks. They are probably a large hunting society, which probably tracks that they have, like, animal husbandry is probably big too.
That also makes sense for sure.
Yeah. As far as growing things, I think they are more reliant on trade for that, and that's how we cut the xenophobic problem, right?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
And that's why, like, the courts and councils of Vigil are so important too. It's like these places, like, they keep us alive.
Okay.
Guilty Boom should definitely be the name of an adventure.
Guilty Boom. Yeah, this place is basically led by, like, steampunk Optimus Prime Judge Dredd. It's
yeah. He puts his hand on your shoulder. I'm actually your grandpa, and he's got a jetpack. Hell yeah!
Ah, that's tight as hell. Wish my grandpa had a jetpack.
Now do you get why he's totally awesome? Let's talk about the baby.
Oh, the volcano baby? That took me a minute. I was like, what? The fuck are you talking about? Sure, let's talk about the fucking volcano baby. So, like...
So they have to mine...
To be clear, this is a flag you want to plant.
Yes.
Okay.
Not like it's like... Did you ever read Preacher?
No. It's been on my list for fucking forever, but no, I haven't.
So, like, the idea of Preacher is, like, he gets inhabited by this creature. It's called Genesis. It is the voice of God. But it is a child. It is an infant that was born of, like, a demon and angel. And it inhabits this priest, and now he has the voice of God. Whatever he says, people do. But this is, like, a nascent being. Like, we've talked a little bit about deities. I think this is a nascent god.
Okay.
And it is suspended in the, like, volcano even seems like the plasma pools, like the very center of this volcano.
Okay. Okay,
and
so...
when I say volcano, the lava is blue.
Volcano, parentheses, blue lava.
Blue lava.
Sure. Okay, we need to draw a couple other things. There are two questions that come to mind here. One, do the people of Vigil know about this nascent god child?
See, this was the question I was going to ask you. Fuck.
Oh, okay. Well, then tell you what. Let me ask my other one then.
Okay.
Does the volcano power the god, or does the god power the volcano?
So I think that right now the volcano is powering the god and keeping it like in stasis, and like when they are going in and mining, it is like trying not to, like, I think maybe like as the deeper tier you are in mining service, the more you know about this thing about Vigil.
Volcano womb, hell yeah. Okay.
Guilty Boom, volcano womb.
Oh, fuck. Is it too late to rename this episode? Hang on. Guilty boom.
I was thinking like a teal kind of a teal like a that's the kind of blue I was thinking of for the lava.
What the fuck is this? A tropical drink?
Hell yeah, it is.
You can only drink it once.
Watching TikTok earlier, some dude is like, here's the things that I'm going to eat before I die. And one of them was lava. He was like, I just know it's chewy.
What's the Terry Pratchett quote? Is like, all mushrooms are edible, some are only edible once.
Once, yeah.
Okay, last question that we'll work on together, and then I think we're gonna call it for the night. So, do the people of Vigil know, like, the true nature of this volcano? I kind of like the idea that the king knows, and that the people don't.
I think the tiers of, like, I think the deeper you go into the mine, the more you would, like, you hear stories, right?
Okay.
And I think, like, the most elite guard of the king, these are the people who have, like, done the deepest mining. They know. That's the council, like, that would know. Here's actually a question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Because we have talked a lot about, like, gods and having, like, gods being, like, living representations of things in this world, right? They're very actualized things. We have AI and constructs like that. So my question is, what is this nascent god? Is it an AI that is powering itself? Is it some alien seed that is growing? Is it biological? Is this like the planet?
Oh, man. Okay, so my gut thing was, I think that this is that same kind of like star shatter energy. It's a force from somewhere far across the galaxy. I think that it's landed somewhere that it doesn't know where it's at. It doesn't know what to do. And so therefore it's staying where it knows it's safe and where it knows it can go. But
it just put itself in stasis.
Yeah, but I think that given the opportunity, it would leave. I gotta say, I really like the idea that this is like the spirit of Iba or something like that. I don't know how to narratively fit that, but I like the concept.
Well, maybe we have 3 different stories for it, and we seed them around.
I like that.
Yeah.
Some space demon laid an egg in the volcano to keep it warm, then created the king to maintain it. For 100,000 years, the king is programmed super low level. And he does everything. Oh my god!
Manchurian candidate.
Holy shit, Elstragoon.
That's good.
That's actually super cool. Okay.
Oh man. Okay, now we know what we can do for our first campaign that we release.
Yeah. 1 second here. So theories on the volcano god. Elstragoon, I hope you don't mind. I'm literally just gonna copy and paste your shit into the doc. Congratulations. I don't know, man. Respect. Like, that was a tight theory.
Yeah, I like the Manchurian candidate. That's dope.
Okay, so Star Shatter, alien trying to go home, or spirit of the planet. Okay, so this one, the spirit of the planet thing, we need to flesh that out just a little bit more.
I had another idea.
Oh, okay, what is it?
It is like, it is the king. Like,
okay.
through like, either it is the king in the past or the king in the future, but like, it is like, yeah, I don't know. That was it. I guess that's all I have. We have like different weird time. Maybe a time anomaly. Something happened, and he saw himself get born. I don't know.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Okay, tight. All right, sick. I'm actually pretty down with this. I gotta say, Corey, for both of us being sick as shit and like, I don't know, not really feeling it before we got on. This was actually a good stream.
Yeah, we did good.
Yeah. El Dragoon, thank you for joining us from all the way over in Hawaii. I hope that you, hell yeah, dude. I hope the rest of, I assume your vacation goes well. But yeah, I also think you are joining us, if I'm not mistaken, for the playtest. Just a reminder,
If you would like
that'll actually be 2 weeks. We're gonna give ourselves one more stream where we're like sober, and then we'll come back in 2 weeks for the first ever playtesting of Vault Peddlers, which I'm very excited about. Corey, you got anything else you want to say before we go?
I am full of blood.
See you later, y'all.